But I'll just very quickly say them again. I first of all want to run the course in under 30 minutes, and I'm usually able to do that. My times are around the 25-26 minutes at the moment. I want to run it all without having to walk any of it. That's just because that's the goal I set myself. I want to try and finish in the top half of the field for the course that I'm running on, whether it's a local one that I always do or some other one, and mostly I'm able to do that one as well. And on my local course I want to reach the 2k marker before the first runner has turned around, gone to the turnaround point and is on their way back. And so by the time they get to me, they've probably done 2.7, 2.8 Ks or something like that. Now sometimes I manage that one, sometimes I don't. So success is different things. So I think the first thing is to try and clarify in your mind what you think success might be for the running you're doing that day, or if you're training for a particular event, what it might be at that event. Now another thing he talked about, this young fellow, was food, and in particular eating before or after runs or whatever. Now, he sorry, I'm coming back to it. He talked about eating before you run. And he said something about it. He got up at 5:30 in the morning, and he had some food, and then I guess he sort of sat around and twiddled his thumbs for a while, waiting for his food to digest and for it to convert itself to energy so that he could run. I know he ate bananas is one thing, and they apparently converted into energy fairly quickly. That's what works for him. Me, I don't like to run with a belly full of food. So this morning, for example, I went out, went on this course. Not sure how long it'll be till I get home, or the distance till I get home. But I will eat afterwards. I hope that whatever I ate last night has sufficiently digested and converted itself into whatever it converts itself into, so that I have the energy, fuel supply, I suppose, to be able to do this run. And I guess we'll know that when I get home, and then I'll eat. Again, it's what works for you. Another thing that he talked about, that again there doesn't seem to be any consensus of opinion on is the importance of warming up. There are three schools of thought, I guess, that I'm aware of. And again, I'm not saying one's right or wrong, just saying what people say, and this is what I do. First school of thought is those people who advocate static stretching. So you stand still and you do squats and you swing your legs back and forth and you roll your arms around and all that sort of stuff. And there are people who say that's what you should do. There are others who say don't do that because you're risking tearing a muscle or injuring yourself, because one minute you're doing nothing, next minute you're squatting or whatever it is, and you are at risk of injury. Just interrupting for a moment. Coming through Belmore Park now. There's the main park in the CBD. Lots of memorials and things that here that talk about the history of Goulburn. Worth a walk around, stop and read all the signs and learn a bit about Goulburn. So getting back to the warming up, another school of thought says, well, you should use your first 1 or 2 Ks as a warm up. That gets your body up to speed. You think of it a bit like the temperature gauge in your car. You get in your car, temperature gauge is down to 0. The coolant is its natural temperature. The engine, it's resting temperature. You start driving it and you see the temperature gauge comes up to around halfway after a while, which is the ideal operating temperature for your engine. And so if you think about your first couple of Ks as being like that, so your internal temperature gauge has reached maximum efficiency. I know in my case it takes me about the first K of the park run course before I start to feel as if my body's running at optimum temperature. I've shaken off the effects of the cold that might be that day, might cause warm and so on. So that's the second school of thought. Third school of thought is the people who come down to park run and they run up and down the car park or wherever it is that your event is held. They do their warming up just running up and down there, and people who do that say, well, it gets my body up to operating temperature, that it gets my body used to the demands that I'm going to make on it when I run the 5Ks, and so that when I start I'm able to go at my top speed rather than waiting until I've done the first K for my body to warm up. Now, as I said, I'm not saying one's right or wrong. I'm saying do what works for you. I don't do the static stretches for the few that injuring something. I don't do the running up and down the car park, because I figure I've only got so much energy, and if I use some there, I won't have any left at the end of the race or the end of the run when I need to get the last little bit. And I'll be in that won't do me any good. So I get out and I try to get going in the first K. Sometimes I can set myself what's a pretty good pace, that first K, like a 4:50 or something. And then, for some reason, my pace seems to drop off. Hopefully my camera is still filming, still has some power in the battery, and I'm on Clifford Street. Heading west, a couple of blocks to go here before turning to the park, and then the final stretch home. Town's coming to life, people going to work and so on. Oh, there's so much traffic around now. I've got a couple of 100 metres to go now up here before I enter the park. You're right, ladies. Thank you. Now there's this newish bit of path here that goes up to the aquatic centre. You can see that in the background there. On the top of that, and there's a couple of little turns here. Down towards the adventure playground. Directly ahead here is Burner Street. And make a cross the road and make a right hand turn, and it's about 50-60 metres by home. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this part of the long run. And we've got all the footage in now and all the clips. Said about uploading all the clips in the next few days. Your feedback is more than welcome at any point. Enjoy your day. Time in the zone is the thing I'm interested in here. That's about right. All right. Forget all that rubbish about new records and so on.